everybody. So we started with a small video. There were 4 children in that video, and of course there was one child who was behaving slightly differently. Can you all guess who that child was? Anybody? Sean, that's right. And when you all saw the video, you all noticed that it was hard for Sean to look at Nancy and Lionel while talking, while interacting, but that did not mean that he was trying to be rude or he didn't want to make friends. It is just hard for him. This skill of looking and talking to another person is hard, okay? And that is what we see when children or individuals have autism. So it is not that they don't want to make friends, but the way they approach people, the way they communicate with people is different. Another thing that we noticed that Sean liked was he really was interested in trains, and he liked his sandwich in a certain way. That's again something that we commonly see in individuals with autism. They prefer things to happen in a certain way, and that's nothing wrong, right? So all we need is a little bit of understanding of how they think, how they communicate, how they interact, how they behave. And if we get to understand and know that better, it is going to be easy to make friends with children with autism. So they don't need to be rude, they just need a little bit of understanding and patience. With that, I would like to show you all another video which tells us that autism can make amazing things happen. Foods, our fears, our special interests. That we know, nobody else can see. Interestingly, the way we see the world is also different. So, for instance, if we look at this drawing, what do you all see? Anybody wants to shout out what they see? Duck. Yes, some of you see duck. Anybody sees anything different? Rabbit. Yes, you said rabbit, right? So, whether you see a duck or you see a rabbit, you are both correct, right? So, whichever you saw, you are correct. And this was just a trick drawing to show you that all our brains work differently. So some of our brains saw the duck and some of our brains saw the rabbit. Neither one was incorrect. Both were correct, but they were just different. It was just a different way of thinking. The brain is your body's computer and it works differently for all of us and controls how you learn. And that's why we are good at different things like music. Some of us are good at mathematics. It also controls of how we feel, and that's why we feel emotions differently. And the brain also controls how we communicate. Sometimes the brain is connected in such a way that it affects senses and how we perceive and read situations and interactions. This is known as autism. Many people have autism, so it's likely you already know someone who is autistic. And therefore, it is useful to know a little bit more about autism. The special wiring inside an autistic brain can sometimes make a person good at tasks that we may find difficult, such as music, art, or difficult mathematical calculations, or drawing. It can also do the opposite. And activities that you and me find very easy are incredibly hard for individuals with autism, such as making friends. We make friends very easily. That can be difficult for individuals with autism. Our senses constantly send information to your brain about your surroundings and about other people. However, when a person's brain and its senses do not communicate well, the brain can get overwhelmed and confused. Right? When that match is not correct, it can be confusing. And this can affect how they see the world differently. Just picture yourself walking down the street. So this is how we picture ourselves walking down the street.
Affecting how they see the world. Picture yourself walking down the street.
This is how we see when we walk down the street.
This is how an autistic brain
But this is how
the same thing. It's scary, isn't it?
So, can you see the difference? When we were walking down, our senses were sending signals to our brain in a way that didn't make it scary. The visual, the lights were not very bright, the sounds were not very loud, things around us were not confusing. But for an individual with autism, if this is how they see the world, can you imagine how scary and overwhelming it can be for them at times? So, but sadly, in many cases, the person cannot tell us how they feel. So even though they are feeling chaos inside the brain, they are feeling scared, from the outside they may feel fine. Unable to ask for help because they find it hard to communicate, and usually we all develop behaviors to help us feel calm and in uncomfortable situations. So when we feel uncomfortable, we may look away, we may hug ourselves, we may bite our nails, bite our lips. Also, people with autism develop behaviors that help them to feel calm in uncomfortable situations and help them cope with those intense moments. So these behaviors, they may seem unusual, but it's their way of feeling calm. And when we see them either closing their ears or rocking back and forth, or trying to just go in a corner and be by themselves, it means that they are having a hard time. They are feeling uncomfortable from inside. And the kind thing at that time to do is not to give them an even harder time by getting upset or angry or ignoring them or mocking them or making fun of them. People with autism, they need friends who are willing to take the time to know them. With good communication and plenty of patience, everyone can be better off. We all agree on that. People with autism, they are not ill, they are not broken. They simply have a very unique and a different way of seeing the world and understanding the world. And with a little support from their friends and from their family and the community in general, they might just be able to share their views with us. Autism can make amazing things happen. Thank you. So my only request is that, yes, become aware about autism And then once you become aware, develop that understanding and acceptance. So the next time you meet an individual who is behaving differently, who is having a hard time communicating, let's not be judgmental. Let's understand their difficulties and try to, with good communication and patience, connect them in a way that they understand best. And with that, we will really be able to, bring out the best in them. Thank you so much.
Special kids, many of them have been doing yoga with me for a while. Sorry, a word about the background music that we're playing.
tallest? Okay, which one is that? Can you point out again? Okay, this one. Right from back here. Wow. Okay.
As in the union starfish, a red one. Introduce. It's smelling a bit, smelling a lot, but not smelling a lot, but smelling a little bit. See, it's a real starfish, guys. Look at the bones. There, that's right. Look at the back. I have two. I can't say the other one. The other one is too small. This is the biggest one. So, like and subscribe, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to upload my Ashika right there. Okay, so start. Stop. Stop. So let me explain. This lady is bringing food person. This is a father. This is a gift doll, and he is growing the plants. Is going near the pipe and connecting the pipe to grow this plant. He won a medal for running race. He got silver. He is looking at him, clapping. He is exercising, carrying weight. He is also exercising. He is carrying on weight. He is taking water to his house. He is going back home. Thank you. You enjoyed my Wali art. Thank you.
I want to tell my neighbors, of course my son can talk, but his way of speaking is different and he is amazing if you just try to understand him.
I want to tell my child's classmates, if he falls behind in his lessons, please help him to understand.
I want to tell my child's Baba, be patient. Just like you, he too wants the haircut to end as soon as possible.
I want to tell all schools not to discriminate. There is no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine in their own time.
I want to tell my child's dentist, expecting my child to stay calm with those bright lights in his face is like telling you and me to stare directly into the sun.
I want the nice lady at the top to know that my son takes time to understand what you said. He isn't ignoring you, just needs more time.
I want to tell other parents, when I say my child has autism, don't look at him as if he is a criminal.
To talk about awareness,
on World Autism Awareness Day, awareness is not something that's either there or not there. It is something which continuously grows and evolves, right? So talking about my own autism awareness, it grew right from the time I was a small child and I heard the word autism for the first time. So we were on a playground where one child explained to the rest of us why her friend was not responding when we called him. That was my very first awareness of this word autism. This awareness changed significantly so many times and in so many ways when I was growing up. And of course, when my own son was diagnosed with autism, this awareness grew some more. But it does not stop there. I am not now an expert just because my son is autistic. My awareness still continuously evolves. Now there may be some who might argue, of course you are passionate about autism awareness because it's your son. But all I am doing is just being a mother. To have my own awareness and acceptance of autism to grow continually is part of that role as a mother. But nowhere does it say that autism acceptance, autism advocacy and awareness is just a mom's job. It's the job of every single person in the community. And here's why. When we look at statistics, there is a very good chance that more than a handful of people in our extended communities are autistic. And at the end of the day, we all want to do right by each other. We all want to be kind, respectful, good friends, good neighbors, good employees, husbands and wives, to all people. And all people include autistic people. Think of the people in your own community and form your role. How are you going to embrace autism awareness in a way that can make you a better friend, a more patient teacher, a more respectful husband, or a kinder neighbor to someone with autism?
I think whatever more support is required, we will always be there. आयच्या गुढीपाडव्याच्या दिसाक तुमकां सगळ्यांक शुभेच्छा दिता. When I came in, I could see a lot of stalls, children having done a lot of things, having put up on display. Things I think which really need to be appreciated. I think Elizabeth, you have done a great job giving them a platform and giving them a chance to,
Actually, it's just not me. I'm just representing the parents. We are a whole lot of parents from the ties.
I fully understand.
We are called towards inclusion everywhere in society. And in 2003, when we started the first inclusive classroom in the Holy Cross Bastora, late Mr. Parikar came and supported inclusion at that time. And he came and actually sat on a small chair and sat in the classroom. And that was the start of inclusion, not only in Goa, but all over India. We were models for inclusion at that time. It has been a struggle. And 10 years ago, we had in 2013, we did have a decennial celebration. Mr. Rohan County had come at that time and graced the occasion. So we are fortunate to have you with our journey, and we hope to have you forward. We as parents have struggled for education. Now our children have become adults. We need help for vocational training. We do not have help at all for residential care and respite care. And that is why we don't have much parents here today. Many parents do not have respite care to look after their children. And we need schemes for education of caregivers. We need schemes for residential homes. And we hope you will take our vision forward. It's a humble request that you look into that. And we are so thankful to this park. They have done, you can see the lights all lit up blue. Thanks to the Porvorim Rising committee which he heads. We have got full support from Mr. Rohan County, and we hope we will have support every time.
Well, dear friends, your applause should not die down. It should be heard all over Porvorim. It's a day of celebration. We are celebrating each and every child out here.
These vocational training done at the Owl House, they are made by the children. It is a productive venture by Owl House, and please support Owl House for such ventures to understand that our children also can be productive members of the society. Thank you.